In this video, let's explore ship transfer, and module storage. Hello everybody and welcome back to another Elite Dangerous 2.2 beta video. So first thing you need to do is come and check out over here in the shipyard. Once at the shipyard, you'll see a new tab over here on the far right hand side called Ship Transfer. In this menu, it's going to show you all of ships that you have currently scattered all around the bubble and beyond if you happen to have something out at Jacques Station. At a glance, it's going to show you the ship type, its location, and how long it would take for that ship to be transferred to this location, the one that you're currently at, and the cost for that. So in this particular example, you can see I have a hauler that is 19 minutes away and will cost me 1,650 credits, and also a kneelback, which is 5 minutes away, which will cost me 23,661 credits. The way this works is the farther away the ship is, the more time it will take to get to your current location, as well as an increased fee. And also there is a bearing on the size of the ship, the cost of the ship. So if it is a very expensive ship, then it will cost you a lot more to move it. And I believe if it's a larger ship, it'll actually take a little bit more time to transport it. Selecting on one of the ships, it'll give you a bunch of information about that ship, how it's outfitted, as well as it'll reiterate to you in this menu what the transfer fee and the transit time would be. Opening up the transfer options, you now have the option to actually transfer that ship to this location that you're currently at, or you also have the ability to actually remotely sell this ship. So if you have a whole bunch of ships scattered around the system that you actually don't want anymore, then you can just straight up sell them. Or if there is something out there that you really want to bring to your location, then you can do that through this transfer option as well. So that's the basics of ship transfer. Now let's take a look at the outfitting changes. So in outfitting, you will now see a new menu in here called stored modules. If we open that up, it's going to give you a list of all of the modules that you currently have stored all around the bubble in different stations. Before this video, I went and flew off to another station and I stored a bunch of modules over there. So what you can see here is that I have a power plant, an E2 power plant that's stored off some other location that I can bring here. So let's say I'm at a station that doesn't sell me an E2 power plant. This is not a very good example. Maybe a better example is like this 4A power plant, right? So let's say that I'm at a station and I want to outfit the ship that I'm in with my 4A power plant. I could have it transferred here. It would take 5 minutes to get here and cost me 3,890 credits. Now, don't quote any of the values that you see here as final because this is beta and beta prices generally are 10% of the actual cost. I don't know if that's true for module transfer or ship transfer fees, but it may be. Moving generic modules around the system is probably not the primary purpose of this feature though, even though it might be very needed from time to time. The primary reason for this feature, in my opinion, is probably because you have modded components that you want to store and then move around, right? So let's say you've gone to the engineer and you have this A4 power plant and you modded it out like crazy. You do not want to lose it. So now you can store that in a station when you move to another ship that say doesn't have an A4 power plant, has something different. And you don't lose that power plant and you don't lose the modifications on that power plant. And then at a later date, you're at another station and you buy a ship that can fit a 4A power plant. You can bring the modded power plant to your current location and fit it on your ship. Very nice feature. So to actually do that, you would open up the menu on it and transfer it to the station or actually remote sell it once again. So let's say you do have a bunch of modules scattered around the system. You can sell them from wherever you are as long as they have an outfitting station. The next thing you can do is store things that you currently have on your ship at this station. Now, one thing to note before we do that is you'll see up in the top left-hand corner, there is a limit of 30 modules that can be stored. From what I can tell, this is not the number of modules that you can store at a specific station like the one you're at right now. This is a maximum number of modules that you can store in general. So to store modules, you can do this in multiple ways. There's a menu item down here called Store Multiple that brings up this handy little menu that you can expand out and see all of the things that you currently have installed on this ship. Now here's a perfect example. Like I have modded pretty much everything on this ship in the beta. And I wouldn't want, if this was a live game, I definitely wouldn't want to be losing my multi-cannons that I say I managed to get corrosive shell on or things of that nature, right? So I can store these here by selecting multiple things, saying I want to store these here, and they say these shield boosters and this fuel tank. Now all of a sudden you're going to notice that something happened here when I selected the fuel tank. It says right down here, core modules must be replaced with a factory default. So by storing this, the reason that you see a price tag beside here is because it's going to take this fuel tank and it's going to store it in module storage here, but it has to replace it with something. So it's going to replace it with the factory default module for your ship. So whatever you had in your ship when you first bought it before you replaced any of the modules, that's what's going to get stuck back in there, right? So if you wanted to store this power plant, right, you would have to buy the factory default power plant and stick it into your ship, because you cannot have a ship without a power plant. So that's what these prices over here on the right hand side are. Once you've decided that you're going to store these modules here, you can go ahead and just say store module. And then you can confirm that to put them all in, and it'll give you a total cost for how much it will cost to store all these modules here. You'll also notice down here that it's showing you how much space it's going to take in your module storage and how much space you already have, right? So in my color scheme, you can see the blue, which is what's already stored here, and the yellow showing you how much more I'm storing now, and then the how much is left in total. The other way that you could store modules in outfitting is to actually go right to the module that you want to store. So let's go to this 8A power plant that I have modded. Let's say I want to store this. I can go down here to the transfer options and I can choose to store it. Once again, I'm going to be presented with this particular screen here because this is a core module. I'm going to have to replace it with the factory default, and it's going to cost me 200,000 credits to do so. You also have access to all of the modules that are in other locations through this menu as well. If you go down to the transfer menu, you can select this, and then it shows you all of the power plants that you have scattered around the system, how long it would take that module to get transferred to this station, and how much it would cost you to get it here. And as far as I can tell, that's the basics to module storage, module transfer, and ship transfer. If I've missed anything, please let me know in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It lets me know that you want to see more Elite Dangerous 2.2 beta videos and helps to expose the video to more awesome people like you. If you're new to my channel and want to be notified when I release new videos or go live, don't forget to subscribe. My active series at the moment, of course, includes Elite Dangerous, XCOM 2, Pulsar the Lost Colony, and Space Engineers. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Have an absolute great one, and I'll see you all next time.